In addition to capturing the subject within the frame, some photos also manage to capture your attention due to their X factor. So here are 20 vintage photos I'm sure you can't look away from. To bless your eyes, here is Frank Zappa cradling a cute cat, just when one thought the genius composer and musical heartthrob couldn't possibly have been more appealing. You must have heard the slogan, "The happiest place on earth," countless times while growing up, and this is a snapshot from vintage Disneyland that really proves it. Truly, there's nothing purer than the admiration shining in the eyes of these kids. The photo depicting a housewife, Marilyn Monroe, is from 1958. As beautiful and bold the actress was, her personal life was quite troubled. Here she can be seen pouring a drink for the husband who betrayed her while he chats with a colleague. This is a picture of Sharon Tate before her murder. The actress perched on a low stool looks absolutely elegant and gorgeous here. Unfortunately, she was murdered by the Manson family in 1969 and at the age of 26. This beautiful vintage wedding photo is really meant to be kept forever due to how perfect the makeup, placement, and details are. This tan beauty is none other than four-time Emmy-winning actress Farrah Fawcett. The Charlie's Angels has nailed the soul-piercing gaze, and her natural beauty is highlighted by the blonde curls. This is a shot of vintage Harlem in the 70s, a representation of strength and resilience. The community was still trying to rebuild itself after most of the residents had moved from the neighborhood following the deaths of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. in the 60s. This photo reveals a whole other side of Samantha from Bewitched. Here, Elizabeth Montgomery is seen playing the role of an elite woman who falls in love with a gangster. This beautiful vintage photo of Sally Fields is from a promotional shot for Smokey and the Bandit from the 70s. This homely yet bewitched look is quite characteristic of Sally. Christina Applegate and Brad Pitt are playfully posing for this picture, most probably clicked in 1989. However, rumors say that shortly after this photo was taken, Christina ditched Brad for another guy and left with him. Here is a picture of two girls taken in London in the 60s, and they seem to be shopping on Carnaby Street. They are dressed in vibrant colors and above-the-knee hemlines, which symbolizes a degree of freedom that would have been unimaginable just 5 years prior. This is an impactful picture of students coming together for a cause. Although the exact reason behind the protest is not known, this photo dated around the mid-60s shows students demonstrating peacefully. Seen here is a Mr. Whippy ice cream truck in England, which has been the highlight of summers since the 60s. Judging by the outfits, the photo seems to be clicked sometime in the 70s. The photo has all the right vintage vibes. It was clicked by famous celebrity photographer Louis Dahl Wolf, with actress June Vincent in frame. In this era when aesthetics go in and out of trend every week, it's hard to imagine that 70 years ago, class-based subculture could influence fashion as well. This picture shows these teen boys with greased hair and typical dressing style of the working class, looking like real-life outsiders. The Chicago Theater took some time to attain this level of fame after opening in 1921. This snapshot from 1927 shows the Chicago Theater on the rise, 6 years later when business had finally started booming. This photo shows 1930s feminists protesting for their right to choose what they wear. At the beach where police officers used to carry measuring tapes to determine which outfits were suitable, these women are seen standing in front of a sign that prohibits exactly what they are wearing. A rather controversial vintage photo shows a child being offered a cigarette and symbolizes just how far we have progressed as a society with regards to spreading awareness about the harms of tobacco products and nicotine. In contrast, people in the 50s used to think that cigarettes were totally harmless, just because they were advertised as such. Here is an image of a vintage Burger King outlet, whose vibrant red and orange hues will make you wish this 70s style was still around. This photo of a row of telephone operators was clicked at the Capitol switchboard. At a time when we are habituated to video calling at the tap of a few buttons, the old method of making calls that needed to be connected to the recipient by telephone operators seems like a relic of the past. That's all for this video.